I went from a gut to a six pack, and I found out that fat loss is actually pretty easy. There's just a lot of lies and a lot of stuff that the fitness industry pushes out there to intentionally confuse you. So in today's video, what I want to do is debunk a lot of these myths and lies so you guys can know exactly what to do and the stuff that can actually work. Guys, if you don't know who I am, my name is Jonathan. I went from 250 to 177. I lost over 70 pounds through trial and error, and I make videos like this to give you realistic and effective strategies that actually work so you don't have to waste time doing things that don't. Oh, so hopping straight into this. So the first thing I kind of want to tackle, and this is not, I wouldn't say this is a lie or a myth. It's kind of like a half truth or something that's not all the way true. And that is lifting heavy leads to better fat loss results. This is not necessarily true. And when I talk about lifting heavy, the main things that come to mind, I'm talking about really about two exercises, and that's a squat and a deadlift. So I'll tell you this, as somebody who loves compound movements, and I truly do believe compound movements or compound workouts or full body workouts doing compound movements are the best thing that can lead to good results. I don't believe that you have to lift extremely heavy to see the best progress. So, and I say this, and I'm thinking mainly of these two movements because, and the reason why I say you don't have to lift heavy is because lifting heavy, especially with those two movements, with the squat and the deadlift, typically leads to the most amount of injuries for gym goers, especially if you're just starting out, or even if you're in the intermediate stages of lifting. They lead to the most injuries, right? And if you are somebody who's watching this content, and I make content related to fat loss, so if you're somebody who, find yourself in a place where you got this gut and this, man boobs, or, you just find yourself in a place where you just want to burn a little bit more body fat, I'm here to tell you as a living testament that you don't have to lift extremely heavy to see the best results in the gym when it comes to fat loss. Our main goal when we lift is to, build muscle and then hold on to the muscle that we have to burn the body fat. And that's going to reveal that lean athletic physique that you already have lying underneath the body fat anyways, right? Lifting heavy, squatting, 500 pounds or deadlifting 500 pounds is not necessary to get that lean athletic physique. Your muscles really don't care. As long as you're putting them under tension, that's all that matters. They really don't care how you do that. You could do that with a leg press versus a squat. You can do that with, Romanian deadlift versus conventional deadlift. They really don't care. All the muscle knows is that, hey, I'm getting worked. I'm breaking down. I'm gonna send tissue to repair itself, and next time I'm gonna store that data. So next time we do this lift, I'm gonna allocate more resources, to this muscle, and then it's gonna get stronger over time. It really doesn't care that you're doing a squat for 600 or you did 30 reps at 225 or 30 reps at 135 or 50 reps at 135. All it knows is that you're putting it under tension. So I want to alleviate and free somebody right now. If you believe in that, you have to, lift the world up, off your back, or, deadlift a whole car in order to get substantial results. That's just not the case. And unless you want to be a power lifter, then don't listen to anything I'm talking about right now. But if your goal is just a fat loss, lean athletic physique, lifting heavy does not have to be in your Rolodex of methods to get results. And another point too with lifting heavy, when I say it leads to injury, I'm speaking from personal experience. I've injured myself doing squats and doing deadlifts when my form was improper. But typically what that does, it takes you out of the gym. And fat loss is a game about consistency. And the last thing you want to do is get an injury that takes you out of the gym. And if it takes you out of the gym, you can't be active. You can't be active. Typically what starts to happen is a slow decline in everything else. You stop tracking nutrition falls off, and then you end up even gaining more weight. And there's plenty of times, it's happened to me. It's plenty of times happened to other people that I know. They go to the gym for a while, they get injured, they fall off the gym activity because they have to heal, and then the nutrition usually slips right after that. And now you're on this cycle of gaining 10 pounds, and then you find yourself 25 pounds heavier. So again, to avoid all that, what I would do, my solution here is I always pick a moderate weight that you can get, between 8 to 12 reps with. You can gradually increase the weight, and if you're not comfortable, if you are doing squats and you're not comfortable, you can still go to reps, and then you can supplement your heavier lift with a leg press so you don't run the risk of injuring yourself. Just a solution. Another fitness lie or myth that I like to attack, and again, it's not really a lie, but it's more so it's a half truth. This comes down to nutrition. I hear a lot of people talk, and when a lot of people ask me for fat loss advice, or if I'm just talking to somebody in casual and they see like, oh, I see you're in shape, or I see that you did YouTube. I shouldn't be eating this, right? Because it's a lot of carbs in it. So I hear that a lot, and it's not a bad thing. So I do want to dispel this right now. Carbs are not your enemy. And I usually hear this a lot from beginners who are just like entering the fat loss phase and they're trying to learn and they just think carbs are bad and I shouldn't eat this because it has a lot of carbs in it. So they usually um they champion things like keto, carnivore, because they think that they're going to work. Because a lot of people on social media have, glorified this, that it's the best method to kind of burn body fat. And I'm going to say this: fat loss is always going to come down to being in a calorie deficit. There are various methods to being in a calorie deficit. Some people do keto, some people do carnivore, some of you guys do intermittent fasting. And I'm here to tell you that, none of these things are bad, but none of these things are the guaranteed way to burn body fat or to help you lose weight. The main thing is that you need to be in a calorie deficit. The only reason why keto works, you're cutting out a whole macronutrients. You just stop eating carbs altogether. That's less calories that you're taking in. That's why keto works. That's why people go on keto and they feel like it works. People do carnivore and they feel like it works. Again, you're cutting out a whole macronutrient. People do intermittent fasting. You're cutting out an entire meal. You're skipping breakfast. You're saving between 500, 600 calories. That's why it works. It's just a method to get you in a calorie deficit. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because what I also find too is that a lot of people can't stick to these things for long. What happens is a lot of you guys do these methods, get some results, and then you revert right back. So you lose all the progress that you gain. And my whole thing here is that why I, always kind of consider this a half truth or a lie is that I always champion understanding nutrition and having a foundation in, I say, tracking calories, so it can help you understand nutrition. It can help you understand what you put in your body. Then you can have flexibility. But in the beginning, I get it. You did keto, it worked for a minute, but I would say it didn't work, because if you did it and gained weight back, and now you're back in a spot you don't want to be, it didn't work. My whole thing is that a fat loss nutrition should work for your lifestyle. It should work where you can lose weight once, keep it off, and continue to stay that way all year round. I walk around lean all year round because I found a way to make it sustainable for my life. And I did this via tracking and gaining an understanding of the nutrition. So a lot of you guys are wanting to avoid tracking your calories in the beginning and, I don't want to do that because that's what bodybuilders do. But I'm telling you right now, the guys who walk around shredded all year round, the guys who walk around jacked all year round, can be lean all year round, they understand nutrition, and they're at a point now where they don't have to track. So I'm saying this to say that you want to get your foundation, to alleviate all this, you want to get your foundation in nutrition first. You need to figure out how many grams of protein is going to be good for you, that's realistic, that you can continuously eat. What's a good calorie deficit range that's going to work for you and in your lifestyle. And you can find meals that fit within that calorie deficit range that you actually like to eat, so you can continue to do this stuff without restricting yourself from certain sweets or certain carbs and things like that. Then you can build a sustainable meal plan and lifestyle around this, coupled with the proper exercise plan. You guys can start to continuously see results, and this can become your lifestyle. You're not going to just do keto for a minute or do intermittent fasting, fall off the bandwagon and gain 30 pounds back and be mad at yourself because now you're in a spot where, now summer coming around, you want to be able to take your shirt off at the beach, and now you got this gut and these man boobs and you're not proud of it. Okay, we want to be able to have sustainable results, and how we do that is by setting our environment up in a way that can, consistently put us in that calorie deficit, hit our macro numbers, and we can continue to live our lives. So I'll say all that by saying this: carnivore, keto, intermittent fasting, any fad diet, if it's not practical for your life, it won't be sustainable. And if it's not sustainable, it's something that's not going to keep you lean. You want something that's going to be practical for your life. You want to find substitutions of things that you already like to eat, lower calorie versions of those things, fit that within a calorie deficit number while hitting a macronutrient goal. And you guys will be fine. You guys will hit results. You guys will hit fat loss goals just by doing that and coupling that with a proper workout plan. And speaking of workout plan, another thing I would like to tackle is, and then again, this is a half truth. It's not necessarily a lie, but it's a half truth. I talked about lifting heavy, but this next workout mistake or workout lie that people typically tend to believe is that HIIT cardio or HIIT training is the best thing for fat loss. Typically, when you watch movies, especially in the past, it's starting to change now, but especially in the past, you go on Instagram and stuff like that, you see a montage or transformation that somebody went through. It's always a montage of them going through these crazy, insane workouts to get this result, and then they got to shred a six-pack and stuff like that. I'm definitely here to tell you, I'm going to tell you the truth right now. That is completely unnecessary. You do not have to work out like a madman in order to get really good results in fat loss. Because I'm going to tell you the reason why. The main results that you're going to get from fat loss are going to come from your nutrition anyways. It won't even come from doing all that goofy stuff in the gym. A lot of people taking a kettlebell, throwing it, doing a backflip, catching it, throwing it between their legs. All that craziness, it looks good for Instagram, it looks good for YouTube, it gets a lot of views and stuff like that. But trust me, you do not have to be in the gym doing all that goofy stuff to get results with fat loss. If you're 80%, you have a foundation at 80%, which is the nutrition, you can honestly just do body weight exercises and still get results. Now, resistance training is the best method. But what I'm saying is that as long as that nutrition is dialed in and you want to pick a moderate weight to do, I would say a full body workout in, and make sure you're hitting your legs, back, chest and shoulders, core, and doing a version of cardio, which I always will champion walking on a treadmill. Guys, you guys will get results. You can work out literally 3 days a week. You can do weightlifting portion 3 to 4 days a week, and then continue to walk, let's say every day. You guys are going to get results. You guys are going to get results, and you don't have to do all those crazy sprint to one side of the room, come back, throw a dumbbell in the air, catch it, do a backflip, do 10 push-ups, and that's craziness. None of that stuff is sustainable. And what I found is most people who do HIIT training like that, it's always they used to. It's always I was doing that, but then something happened. What happened? It wasn't sustainable. And what happens is that you have a burst of motivation to do these type of exercises. Then after a while, that motivation kind of falls off. And why I'm going to suggest this method that I'm going to talk about right now, what I usually typically suggest, besides the HIIT training, is that, again, you just hit your legs, back, chest and shoulders, and core. You can do that via machines. You can do that via compound lifts. And for cardio, I always suggest people to walk. You walk every day anyways. If you are not in a healthy lifestyle now, or your fitness level isn't super high, walking is the best exercise you can do because it doesn't require a lot of athleticism. Anybody can purchase a treadmill, have it, get it delivered to your house, get an incline treadmill, and walk on it for 30 minutes. You doing that every day, every single day, is going to put you in a better position for fat loss. You're already eating in a calorie deficit. You're walking every single day on an incline treadmill, right? Let's say 30, 45 minutes. If you can do that every day, while watching TV, right? It'll put you in a better position for fat loss. Now, I've told some people this advice, and they may say, well, walking that long is too long. Okay, let's put it this way. Here's the alternative. You don't do anything, and then you still continue to gain weight. And since walking is the easiest form of exercise that you can do, if you could at least do that, why wouldn't you do that? You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you do that? You don't have to do any of the crazy HIIT exercises and lifting heavy. If I told you you can lose a bunch of weight just by being in a calorie deficit, hitting your macronutrient goals, doing some moderate lifting, and then walking is the main exercise you're going to do, why wouldn't you do it? That sounds too easy to be true, right? And guess what? It is true. And it is something that's super easy. This is how I lost my 70 pounds. So I definitely want to set you guys free. This is the whole intent of this video, to kind of set you guys free, that fat loss does not have to be a complicated method when it comes down to nutrition, and it does not have to be complicated when it comes down to exercise. Guys, all we really need to do is be in a calorie deficit, get some additional steps in, and we're going to lift some weights to maintain the muscle mass. So when all the body fat starts to fall off, we got that lean athletic physique, and then we can reveal our six-pack, reveal the muscles that we want to show, and have the body and the physique that we want. Guys, if you guys need additional help, I coach men one-on-one. I help them go from a gut to a six-pack in a simplified way. If that's something that interests you guys want to see what meal plans kind of fit into a calorie deficit, what workouts you can do in a simplified way that can get you from point A to point B, guys, the link's down below. Other than that, stay tuned for more content, and thanks.